And welcome to Ivyu. Ivyu is the land of friends. Ivyu is the land of gifts, with its glorious countrymen, is glorious for ages. The land of Ivyu begins here. What can be more beautiful and dear for people who live there? It's the land with white trunk birches, flocks of storks on the roofs, beaver dams on the rivers, millions of white daisies in the green grassy meadows, mysterious old mill over the lake, melodical songs, dances, customs and traditions. It's our motherland, which is given to every man once and forever together with his birth. Each town as well as each person has its biography and its fate. Our marvelous green-bluish part of the Republic has its glorious history, though there weren't any world-famous events there. We are proud of our past and we always talk willingly about our historical heritage and our hardworking ancestors. Let's look through the most important and interesting facts about Ivyu. The first mention of Ivyu in the chronicle dates back to the 14th century. A lot of historians consider Ivyu to be one of the oldest settlements on the territory of Belarus. There are several hypotheses as to the origin of the name Ivyu. One of them comes from the fact that Ivyu was founded by the wife of the prince of the Great Principality of Lithuania, Iva. Some historians suppose that the name Ivyu has a Slavonic origin, from the tree willow. Other hypotheses are connected with the river Ivyanka, on which the town stands. When you go to the center along the Lenin Street, you can see a mosque on the right. In the 16th century in Ivyu, and to be more exact in its outskirts Muravshchizna, there appeared new inhabitants, the Tatars. They occupied 19 lots. Their heirs became native in Belarusian land. So it is not surprising that on one of the Ivyu streets a mosque stands. It is an outstanding monument of wooden architecture of the 19th century. In 1884, under the foundation of Elvira Avgust-Zamoyskaya, a memorial board installed in 1934 in advance to it, the construction of the mosque was finished. Its plain date 1881 and the name of the author Mieczyslav Strubeika remained it. Our mosque is also known far abroad. It was visited by the representative of Islam from Libya and Morocco. Komsomolskaya Square is in the center of the town. There are many shops, a library, a palace of culture, a post office, Belarus Bank, and a nice public garden with a memorial to various internationalists in the center of the town. I advise you to visit our restaurant Spring and the bar Versal. You can have a good meal or a cup of coffee there. Near the park there is an unusual monument dedicated to the four confessions of the city. It was opened in 2011 and each side looks toward the temple or prayer house of a particular religion or confession. On the Catholic part of the monument is placed the Greek anagram of Christ, the image of Saint John Paul II, and his words, "Open the door to Christ." On the Orthodox, the face of Jesus, the covering of the Virgin, and the quote from the Gospel, "I am the way and the truth and the life." In the Jewish, menorah and greeting, "Peace to you," and on the Islamic, a crescent moon and the Quran. Turn into Karl Marx Street. It's a very beautiful street with the old Jewish houses. A horror thing happened to Jews of the land of Ivyu. Hundreds of them were shot down on the 12th of May 1942. They were buried in a brotherly grave near the village of Stonivichi. Go straight on for about 200 meters, you see a very beautiful lake. Opposite the lake, you can see the old building Melnica. Go along this road over the bridge and you see on the hill Catholic Church. The St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church was rebuilt many times and therefore has features of many styles. The walls are built in a Gothic laying technique and powerful graded abutments in the corners. The Renaissance features can be seen in a simple decoration of facades, and refined towers with figured endings and a shelf between them are made in Vilna Baroque style. The Bernardine Monastery with its Peter and Paul Chapel by Nikolai Kishka in 1631. The church has been restored recently and beautiful sculpture of Jesus Christ appeared near the gate of the church not long ago. The chapel is situated on the hill so as to be seen from different points of the town. The Orthodox Church on the 1st of May Street is the youngest in our town. It was built in 1994. The Patriarch of Moscow and of all Rus visited it in July 1995. There are also 3 former synagogues in Ivyu preserved from the 18th century. One of them was intended for merchants and dealers. The seconds belonged to craftsmen and poor, and beggars had the third. Ivyu is a cultural center of the district. There is a modern palace of culture with the people's drama and people's chorus in our town. We are proud of Ensemble Chabarok with its folk repertoire. This collective takes part in many Republic festivals and concerts. There is also an art school, a sports school, a secondary school, a gymnasium, a primary school and a vocational school in the town. It is necessary to say that our schools are famous not only in the district, but also in the region and even in the Republic for clever pupils, experienced teachers and good traditions. Opposite our school there is a museum of stones. A special circle was laid out of them. 14 stones symbolize 14 significant dates from the history of Ivyu, from the first mention to given the status of the city. There are a lot of new blocks of flats in Ivyu, but many people live in private houses with big orchards and gardens attached to them. A lot of kind, hard-working people live in Ivyu, who change it day by day, because each of us is a part of today's Ivyu, a part of its history. So I think you have a good first impression of our hometown. Welcome to Ivyu.